Hey everyone, welcome to my channel. Aditya here. Today we are going to continue our prompt engineering crash course. The next topic we are going to cover is evaluating prompt performance. So, you may wonder, you have written some prompts and you are getting responses, but how to evaluate these prompts? So, for example, for your company, you have 3 4 AI models you are testing and you want to evaluate. So, in that case, how can you evaluate these AI models? So validating that AI models provided good responses for input that we are passed in. So the first thing or first metric we have to look at is the objective metrics. So now we will see what are those objective metrics. We have two types, objective and subjective metrics. So we are looking into the objective metrics and right, the first thing comes into the objective metrics is accuracy. So the factual correctness. Okay, whether the answer or responses provided by the generative AI models are factually correct or not. And if you see this question, how long does it takes to boil an egg? Right? So in the fact, it typically takes about 9 to 12 minutes to boil an egg. And if it is not near to this fact, then we can say the AI model is not providing proper response. Right? That is the factual correctness in the accuracy metric. Right? And second one inside the accuracy metric is schematic correctness. That is, how does it takes to boil an egg? So the same question we have asked, but we got a response. An egg is a food product by poultry, right? So even though it's a factually correct answer, right? Factual correctness is correct because egg is a food product by poultry, but not an answer for our question. So in these cases, human evaluation requires for correctness. You have to check for accuracy. Second one, speed. The speed of the response, right? It should be based on two things. The processing speed, which is based on the response, right? Infrastructure which the LLM made on, and response speed should be based on our network bandwidth and latency and delay. So there are two things. If we have good network bandwidth and latency, then there could be problem in that AI model. So speed is also one of the objective metric. And the third one is the relevancy, right? So here the relevancy could be similar to the schematic correctness. If you see here, if you ask for a book recommendation, but AI provided movie recommendations, then it was not correct because you are looking for movie recommendations. Even though it's some type of recommendations that won't say it relevant, right? Both are irrelevant. So relevancy is one more objective metrics we need to look. And this relevancy is accuracy. We need human evaluation. And speed is purely based on the LLM infrastructure and also yours network bandwidth and latency. Okay. And moving on to the next topic, that is subjective metrics. We have already seen the objective metrics which has accuracy and speed, relevancy. No, when it comes to subjective metrics, the first one is human opinions on coherence, tone, and clarity. So here the subjective means we are not going for the factual correctness or speed or relevancy, but we will go for the human emotions, coherence, tone, and clarity. Okay, so when it comes to coherence, right? Coherence means whether the response make logical and linguistic sense in its own right. So whether the response have some sense, logical and in a linguistic way. So here you can see what is the capital of France. The capital of France is Paris. So this is logically and linguistically correct. Who wrote Pride and Prejudice? Jane Austen wrote Pride and Prejudice. So this is also logical and linguistic. How does photosynthesis work? And the answer is green refrigerator fast the elephant. This response does not make any logical and linguistic sense. Okay, so this is how you can measure coherence when it comes to subjective metrics. And the next one is the tone. So the tone is very important, right? The perceived emotion, quality or mood of a message. If you have given some happy message and the AI model responds with some sad response, then it won't be a good response, right? The tone should be perceived emotional quality of our message, right? So if you see this prompt, I just got promoted and I am really excited. So this is the prompt. And one AI model respond like this. That's fantastic news. Congratulations on your promotion. And it says it's positive and based on our mood, since you are really excited, this seems to be encouraging. But the second AI model is responded like this. Promotion involves more responsibilities. It could be stressful. So this seems it's not like a good response because here you said really excited, but it is, even though it's a fact, it is saying and it is discouraging, right? And it could be a wrong response with respect to tone because the tone is not aligned with the emotion. Okay. The third one is the clarity. So how understandable and how clear the responses are. So I when we give a prompt like this, what's weather like today? If the AI model responds like this, it's a sunny and 75 degrees. It is straightforward, clear, understandable. But if you get another response like the situation involves the atmospheric conditions in your geographical locale, right? It doesn't make any sense. It won't understand. It is not a clear response. Okay. So here you have learned about two metrics. One is the objective metrics and second one is the subjective metrics. By using these metrics, you can evaluate your prompt performance. And the next one is you could use some evaluation techniques like surveys and interviews. So you could conduct some surveys to your a bunch of people and you can take some interviews from them who use these prompts and get the information from them how satisfied they are with those responses. And the next one is did AI understand your prompt correctly? Okay, you ask everyone this question like, did A understands your prompt correctly? So whenever you provide a prompt, if you get proper response, right, then your AI is understanding your prompt correctly. Was the response AI gave relevant to your prompt? And was the AI response is easy to understand? Did the AI provide complete answer to your prompt or did it miss anything? Did you find the AI response helpful? And was the AI delivered the appropriate tone? How satisfied are you with the speed of the AI response? And did you feel the conversation with the AI flowed naturally? So these are the things we need to do survey and interview and ask the people who are using these generative AI models and the prompts what they are using, right? They are getting these particular questions answered right in a proper way so that you can evaluate your prompt in a better way. Okay, so even right, even you can experiment this prompts on customer services also. For example, A to B testing for a customer. So you use two prompts, okay, and right, you get the customer's response from for those prompts. Look, I'm sorry to hear you are not satisfied with your purchase. Could you please tell me the order number and the reason for the return? That is the prompt one. And the prompt two should be understand you want to return an item. Can I have order number and a specific issue with the product? And you just do an A to B testing like this for different prompts and see how customers is interactive and how customers satisfied with those prompts. Which prompt led to the most successful return transactions? So you need to evaluate based on which prompt led to the most successful return transactions, which prompt resulted in shorter conversation lengths. That means the less messages, to and from messages, and which prompts receives high customer satisfaction scores in post interactive service. Like this, you can do some surveys around your customers and get the responses from them. Okay, and these are about some OpenAI fine tuning guidelines, but I hope you don't need as of now. I'm just not talking about them as of now, but yes. So you use this A to B testing and use those prompts on your customers and see how customers are satisfied with those prompts. And finally, you can evaluate your performance, right? Example, getting better results by adjusting the parameters. So in the evaluating of performance, right, prompt performance, we can do few other things like adjusting the parameters. So when it comes to parameters, right, you can select the model of your generative AI model. So the model should be selected will be determine parameters available. For example, if you are using some AI model, ChatGPT, which should have GPT 3.5, GPT-4, GPT-4-O, like that you will have some models. So change the models and see how your prompt performing there. And temperature. As we discussed in the OpenAI playground, we have a temperature, right? If you increase the temperature, the answer should be more variable or creative, right? So if you decrease the temperature, the answer is deterministic and it should be straightforward. So based on your requirement, you can increase or decrease temperature and evaluate your prompt performance. Next, maximum length. So in this OpenAI platform, right, since ChatGPT don't shows these and all, but the OpenAI playground you can able to see this length also, which controls the length of the response. Okay, so I will show you now. I will open OpenAI playground, and in this playground you can able to see the maximum tokens. So the maximum tokens. So maximum tokens is nothing but the length. Okay, and the next one is the stop sequences. Stop sequences stop the response of a certain sequence of characters such as period or semicolon. So here you can able to see stop sequences. So you can mention up to 4 sequences where API will stop generating further tokens. The written text will not contain the stop sequence. So if you say period or semicolon and right, if you say period or semicolon, it will stop responding after we get that sequence. Okay, and next one is the top P. So it controls diversity. And if you set 0 0.5 right here, if you set 0 0.5, that is the medium, it controls diversity, and half of the likelihood weighted options are considered. That means half of the pool of the available votes. Okay, the next one is the frequency penalty, which controls likelihood of repeating the same line vertebrae. So you have your frequency penalty. So instead of repeating the same lines, right, you want new lines. So you don't want the same line to respond, right? It will create new lines. So it will controls that likelihood. And after that we have presence penalty. So controls the likelihood of talking about new topics. So instead of diverting about from the one topic to other, only to stick with the same topic, you can use this presence penalty. And it is also provided in our OpenAI playground. Okay, so you play with these options and you play with your prompt and check whether your prompt is performing based on these parameters. By adjusting these parameters, whether you are able to get the response what you want decide. I hope you understand this session. And if you like the video, like, share, and subscribe. And let me know in the comments if you want to learn more topics. Thanks for watching. Bye.